Just trying to fix my phone here quick. Can somebody just maybe just drop me tap view live chat. Okay. Damn, I clicked on something here. Cancel. Okay, can you guys please let me know if you're busy watching, if you can hear me, if you can see me, all those kind of things? Okay, I set this up a little bit earlier. As you can see, on the top there's the full moon. It should be out of this frame pretty soon. Right, fix the whole tripod there. Okay, now I'm just trying to figure out how I can get rid of this stupid thing on my screen. Okay, there we go. Comments, live chat. Okay, can you guys maybe just type a comment just to see that I can read whatever questions you've got? Okay, right. Those that can hear me and Ranton. Hi, Craig. Okay, cool. Thanks. You can hear and see. Fantastic. That's good. Okay, I just want to see if I can leave the comments up on the screen. Good, Nick. Hi, Elena. Okay, looks like cool. Right. As you guys know tonight. Come on. Hi, Rob. Jeez, I hope we're not going to be battling like this. Oh, man. Okay, guys, I've got a spinning circle on my screen here. I'm not sure if you guys can still see me or not. Again, if you could please just drop me a comment again, just to see if I can, if you can, if you get the feed all right on your side. Okay. Okay, right, cool. Right, let's go. This thing can do its thing and spin to whatever it wants. Okay, so as you guys know, tonight is the full moon. Here in South Africa, at least, they say that tonight it is at its full potential. And this is according to what the guys say, a pink moon. So basically what's going to happen is that this is a super moon. And from what they say, this is the biggest moon of 2020. Hopefully that's one of the good positive things happening so far this year. So right, let's see if we can get some good images of this. And if you guys got any questions, please post them. I will answer them as we go along. Right, so what I've got here, my setup is I'm on a very sturdy video tripod. It's not, you don't have to, technically with shooting the full moon, you don't need to be on a tripod because your shutter speed that you're going to be shooting at is going to be high enough that you should be able to shoot it handheld. So one of the big reasons I'm doing this is just for comfort, because you don't have to hold a long lens the whole time shooting the moon. And you also don't need a lot of shots. The actual moon is not going to be changing a lot during the course of the night. So, right, so what we're going to do now, as you can see here, I've got a setup. Okay, I've got my moon lined up. You guys can see on the screen. Let's move this a little bit closer. Okay, that's my moon. Currently, my settings on this is f10, but you can shoot this wide open if you really want. You can actually shoot this at any f-stop that you want, to get the correct exposure. The full moon is actually so bright that you can shoot it with a very high shutter speed. There's no need to shoot it at 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. You're just going to get one big blob of light in the sky, exactly like what you're seeing on the screen. You're not going to get any detail in it. It will be completely blown out. Also, if you're shooting long exposures during the full moon, again, you'll have to stop down your lens quite a bit to minimize the amount of light coming in. The full moon emits a hell of a lot of light. I've got my garden light on at the moment, so you guys can at least see me. But if I turn this thing off at night, it's everything outside casts shadows. I can walk around without needing a torch whatsoever. So you don't need a slow shutter speed when you have to shoot the full moon. So currently my settings on this one is ISO 100 to get a very good clean image. Because I'm on a tripod, I don't need such a high shutter speed, but I'm at f10. But even if I drop down to f6.3, which is the widest, my Sigma 150 to 600 can open up at 600 millimeters, then I can. Where's the moon? See, now the moon is overexposed in my shot, so I can up my shutter speed to 1/640th of a second shutter speed. So technically, at that shutter speed, I should be able to start getting clean shots by doing it handheld. But off the tripod, it's still just more convenient than anything else. Another thing with the moon is it's a couple of 1,000 kilometers away from us. So your lens will technically focus way past infinity or past its hyperfocal distance. So you can focus it, put your camera in manual or your lens in manual and just leave it there and you can shoot and you shouldn't have any issues. Earlier I was playing a little bit, I shot a little bit of a video clip just to see how long the actual moon takes to move through the frame of my camera from bottom to top. So if you just leave it run, you can actually see the moon move through the scene. And that took about 9 minutes for the moon to move from the bottom to the top. So you're going to have to constantly keep adjusting to keep the moon in frame. Right, so, and with a long lens, you quickly miss it as well. So the ideal thing would be is to zoom back a little bit. Right, setup I've got here is my Canon EOS R and my Sigma 150 to 600 lens on a pretty sturdy tripod. All right, any questions so far, guys? Not, I'm just going on, just post them there. I should see them as they pop up. Just see if I can live chat. Okay. No new questions. Okay, perfect. Cool, guys. So and it works like any telescope that you use on a rifle or binocular. Not really binoculars; they're pretty fixed. But other scopes, if you zoom it out to the furthest, you're going to find something small in the frame faster. So at the moment, I zoomed out, so the moon is pretty small in my frame. So now I found it. So now I can literally just zoom in to the max and get it in there. So, like I said, focus is locked. Lens to manual focus, and now I can just carry on shooting as much as I want. Another thing to remember when shooting with a lens with image stabilization, obviously if you're going to be shooting this handheld, it will be to your advantage. But if you're going to be shooting off a tripod like this, I recommend to switch it off, because the elements inside the lens, the motors will be active and they will be moving. Not that you're going to see it much in doing a shot like this, because your shutter speed is going to be pretty fast. Lunar 11 rule. Please explain, Rob. I don't know that one too good. So the elements inside your lens is going to be moving, and the motor's going to be moving. So if you're on a slow shutter speed, like if you're shooting stars or anything like that, and you've got your image stabilization switched on, those things could move and could give you a blurry image. I had it way back when I shot my first star trail. I shot multiple exposure star trail, and with that is I left my IS on. I didn't know, and I also had a camera strap on my camera, which is also a big no-no for those type of shots, because even the slightest movement in the wind will move your camera. And afterwards, when I started stacking the star trail, I found that you'll have the dots were doing this, and that was two reasons. It was because of the camera strap, and also because the IS was switched on, and the elements and the motors kept on shifting it just ever so slightly, because it's standing still, but it's trying to compensate for movement. So IS needs to be switched off when shooting from a tripod. If you're shooting moving subjects, animals running, people running, those kind of things, you can leave it on, just for that added little bit of stability it provides. But static subjects like this, just switch it off. Right, so now we've got a beautiful clear sky. If we had some clouds in, we could create some drama. Hi chicken, not sure who you are. Anyway, how's it? You could create some nice drama and moody shots. A lot of the guys try and shoot something that's on a horizon with the moon behind it, and often those shots are really spectacular. But the shots you will normally see with buildings, with the moon behind it, rising like really big, those things are 99% of the time they're composite images. And two reasons why I say that. The moon don't rise that big behind any kind of structure, unless you're shooting with like a 1200mm lens at something that's like 2 kilometers away on a hill with the moon, where you can get that compression effect. Then you might get something similar, but otherwise you're gonna and also if you know the area where the guys are shooting. If they say it is in Cape Town, and you know Cape Town, you know where the sun rises and where the sun sets, the moon follows the same path roughly, and the moon is suddenly over Robben Island, you know it's composite. There's no way the moon is going to set there. And you can also check those things with apps like PhotoPulls and the TPE, the photographer's ephemeris and stuff. Brendan Maloney, 11 rule. F11, shutter speed set, come on. F11 shutter speed set to the same as your ISO. Yeah, that is true, Brendan. But with the, I say shoot live view, got a mirrorless camera. I can see the exposure right on the back of the camera. So back in the film days, and if you're shooting DSLR, and without a live view option, you can do those kind of things, and it's a good starting point. I do agree, but technically it's a good starting point, but you don't need to use that per se. So as find the moon again here. It's rising all the time, so it's moving out of the frame pretty quickly. Okay, let me just show you guys here. Okay, I can't adjust the exposure on this thing, unfortunately. Sorry, guys, but you can see the little green block on my screen. That's my focus on the Canon camera. Just move this back to. So that's my manual focus, and this will tell me exactly when it's in focus. Like right there. Okay. So. Right, my moon is focused. That's all good to go. My shutter speed is set. My exposure looks correct to what I can see on the camera here. What I also suggest, just to get a touch more detail out of the actual moon, is to underexpose it slightly. It will just bring out all those shadows and highlights, and you'll get the best detail in the highlights because there is a lot of them. Right, so now you can just carry on. You can carry on and shoot. Hopefully you can see that. Oh man, I wish I could adjust. Let's see if I can use the other camera for this. That gives a better picture. Yeah, there we go. Really beautiful detail. Okay. Right, so there you've got it. We've got some really nice detail in the shot. So now you can carry on. You can shoot more if you want to. Also, what a lot of guys do now is that if you've got something that you want to use as a foreground interest, buildings, trees, anything like that, they will do a shot with that, and yet the moon might be very small in the image. They can then compose. They can just use the actual shot of the moon, the one I showed you now, and make a composite image and just paste that one in over it, so you get the full detail and not just that blob. Because if you're going to shoot a building or a tree or a structure on the horizon, that's going to be either very dark. So if you see something that is that needs detail in it, and you see a moon behind it that's got lots of detail, there's no way they could do that. Let me just see here. Rob, ISO 100, ISO 200, 200th a second, and so on. Okay, that makes sense. And like I said in the beginning, you can shoot this at any f-stop that you want because it's so far away, it should be into your infinity focus in any way. Okay, now I have to find it again. There we go. And if you really want, especially on a long lens, shooting at 1/100th or 1/200th of a second shutter speed, and shooting handheld, you will get blur. So I would suggest, again, shooting from a tripod in that case if you use that f11 1/100 ISO 100 kind of rule. Let's just have a look at what it looks like on a on the screen. So ISO 11, ISO 100, I went to f11 on my lens, and if I go to 1/100th of a second according to that comments you guys made, my moon is blown out. Let's see if I can show you this quickly. That's why rules are made to be broken, guys. Okay. Let me just take a shot of that. Now, the pink you see there is my focus check lines that I've got switched on. Okay, you won't be able to see it so clearly. Yes, you can see detail in there. Okay, but right, let's just take it now to still F11, ISO 100, 1/250th of a second. And let's get that shot. Now you can see all that blown out highlights is gone. Let's just see if I can skip over to the next one. Come on. You can see there, it's pretty bright. So if I skip back to the other one, the highlights is controlled way better. I controlled my highlights way better by adjusting the shutter speed manually, not according to those particular rules. Okay, just on the question that was there, if the moon is actually pink. No, it's not. The Canon EOS R, if you're shooting in manual focus, you've got a focus peaking option where it'll actually give you like a red outline of everything that is in focus. So if you're shooting any type of landscapes or whatever, there will be that red line around your subject if it's in focus. Now, I can make it pink or blue if that will look better, but I just find red when I'm shooting in the field. I can see better, especially if you're shooting green foliage or blue skies. Then those lines will disappear. It's not often you shoot something that's bright red all over. Okay, right. Any other questions that you guys might have? To photograph the full moon is pretty straightforward. It's not a difficult subject, yet the people do struggle with it. Now, you can shoot it with a shorter lens. I'm lucky to have one that can go up to 600, so I can pull more of the moon into my frame. And the EOS R's got 36 megapixels, so I can do quite a bit of cropping as well. But if you're shooting with a camera with lower megapixels or a shorter lens and a crop sensor body, you're going to get extra distance. If I can put my EOS R in a crop mode as well, then I'll get even closer, but then I'm throwing away some pixels. On a crop sensor body, like a Canon D80, Nikon 71 D7100 or one of those things, you'll get that crop factor magnification also built in that will give you a closer shot of the moon, still with a full pixel readout. In saying this, you probably will be able to crop in, or you still need to crop in. So if you're going to shoot with a 200mm lens on a full frame body, see, the moon is so far, my focus is still in focus, even though I've moved back from 600 to 200. The moon is just so far away that the focus will stay constant through the whole focal range, whatever. But I'm at 200mm here now, and I'm going to take that shot. So you'll still have all the detail, but your moon will be a lot smaller in your image. I'll just show you here. So that's at 200mm. 200. And you'll see the moon is quite small. So that is zooming it in to 600. So now, if you've shot it at 200, you've only got a 200mm lens, you will just have to crop in quite significantly. Okay, all right, so Any questions you guys have got? It's pretty freezing outside here. I think winter is definitely on the way. Hope you guys are keeping safe wherever you are with regards to this corona thing. It is a bit of a pain in the ass, and I hope you guys do tune in on my daily chats that I've got with some interesting people. Tomorrow I'm going to have another cool one. Today I chatted with Marcel Hopkins, and tomorrow I'm going to be chatting with a very good wildlife photographer by the name of Keith Connolly. But I'll post all those details tomorrow on my social feeds. Right, any questions, guys? Let's see if we can get a little bit of creativity here, but I might go dark in the shot now, so let's see what we can do. Okay, right, I'm going to shoot through the trees. Just put this here. There's the moon. The lens is, but you're basically going to have some of that foliage in the foreground. Right, let's see what we can do here. It's weird working from the phone. You've got to chop and change between front camera, back camera, but anyway. Right, let's see what we can find here. Finding the moon. See, that's why I say that if you see those kind of cool shots, 90% of the time they are superimposed composite shots. Even I can let's even step this down to like f29 at 1/60th of a second. See if we can get some of this tree in focus. Nope. Can hardly get anything in focus by doing this. You've got the moon in focus, but you've got nothing in the foreground that could add some interest. So that's why a little bit of clouds with the moon peeking through, those are quite interesting. And also if you shoot video clips on that and you speed it up, because you'll see it very slowly while you're busy recording it. But if you speed it up in post-production, you'll get this cool movement of the clouds in front of the moon, which is very nice. Yeah, for that, if you want something on the horizon or in front of your moon, it needs to be very far away from you so that you've got everything in focus. Right. Okay, any questions, guys? Right, let's see if something popped up here. Live chat. Okay, right. Images Unlimited Creations. Eddie, thank you, man. It's only a pleasure. That's what I want to do. Right, guys. Yeah, if any questions, drop it down below in the comments. I will answer them, and I will also link to a video that I made a couple of years ago about photographing the moon. Basically with all the stuff that I talked about now, is all in there. Yeah, any questions, just let me know. Please click the subscribe button, the notification, all those things everybody talk about, so you can be updated with all the videos I'm posting. All right, let me see here. Yaku Krowkamp, do you think a shutter release trigger will make a difference? Yes and no. If you don't have a shutter release, you can simply go to your timer. Stick it on a 2-second timer or 10-second timer. So especially in a long lens, you might get that slight vibration still as soon as you press the button, or if you touch the camera or moved it quickly, and you bloody mosquitoes. And if you press the shutter, a long lens might give you that, especially if the wind's blowing as well. You'll definitely get it if the wind's blowing on a long lens. Even at 200 millimeters, you will get shake happening. So for that case, I would say just stop this down. 2-second timer, press it. So you just give your camera that 2 seconds to steady itself, and the shot will take. If it's very windy, you're going to battle. You might have to put like sandbags or camera bag, just hang it on here just to give it that extra bit of stability, so you don't get that vibration while you're busy shooting. Right, anything else, guys? All right, let's see if we can do one or two creative stuff. I just want to play around with it. I normally set my cameras up so I can go to ISO 50, just a lower ISO on there. Okay, right. I just tried a movement one because it's a constant light. The whole moon is going to blur if you do add some movement in it. Now again, if you do that, you can then again compose your sharp moon shot on top of that, just to give it a bit of a creative spin. No, not really for me, but you can play around with those kind of things. Okay, I think that's it, guys. Like I said, any questions, pop them below, and I will definitely get back to you on those. Stick around for tomorrow's chat. It's going to be really cool and interesting. And see you soon. If there's another thing, sorry guys, I'll keep on coming back. If there's any request for these type of live shots or live shoots that you think would be cool, you would be interested in to do it, please come and please let me know, and I will make a plan and see what I can do. All right, big boss, do you want to see the moon, the actual moon, or do you want to see the photo? Actual moon is there. Let's see if I can zoom this thing. Zoom on the iPhone 11 is not bad. It must just adjust to the image now. Anyway, all right, if you want to see it on the back of my camera, clarity problem. Yeah, we're on a cell phone. Unfortunately, there will be a bit of a clarity problem. Let's move this a little bit like this. And please excuse the finger marks on the screen. That's what you've got a touch screen for. Just see if I can wipe that off. It's a little bit better. Okay, so as you can see, you still see the little red lines around the moon. That is the focus showing me that it is in focus. 2-second timer, got the shot. Let's zoom in on that a little bit. There we go. Okay, all right, guys. Thanks so much for joining me and tuning in. Like I said, if there's anything else that you would like to see and chat about, please let me know. Thank you. Have a awesome evening and keep safe. Wear your mask, wear your gloves, and don't go looking for crap out there. All right, thanks, guys.